Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Jamie, and today we are going to start a kitchen declutter. I've decluttered my kitchen a couple of times already, but today it's all about simplifying. Cabinet number 2. Whew. So I said that this has the most things in. Let's have a look. And now we are going to categorize these. Right now it is completely empty. And this idea of simplifying my kitchen isn't just about decluttering, because I realize every time I declutter, I still have to hold on to things and store things away and keep them in my kitchen that I'm not currently using, that I might be using in a few months' time. And I recently did a video on Project 333, which is decluttering my closet. You can check that video out. The concept is using 33 items for 3 months. It's been such a freeing experience, but I started thinking about how can I apply this to the rest of my home. Today I want to declutter, but I also want to simplify. The idea of simplifying comes from not only being surrounded by a lot of things that you don't use, things you accumulate. It does cause a lot of stress in your day-to-day life. Decision fatigue, when you have things out that you might have to think, am I using this or am I using that? Making those tiny decisions every day might not seem like that much, but we only have capabilities of making so many decisions, and a lot of them are on autopilot. But if we can simplify even those everyday little decisions, you will make more free time and energy and mental capacity to make the big decisions. I've been praying about it for the past week on how to go about it, and I'm going to share that with you today, the full process. So if you're ready for it, let's get into it. And the first goal of this overall process is to have out the things that I am currently using in this season and store away the things that I don't, get rid of anything that is clutter. So I'm hoping to declutter a fair amount in the process. Whenever I've done a kitchen declutter, I've just done everything cupboard by cupboard, and today I'm going to do it differently, which is similarly to what I did with my closet declutter, and that is to pull every single item out to start, which might seem a little bit overwhelming. I have a rare opportunity today. It's such nice weather, but all my 3 boys have been taken to a water park with a nan and aunt. This is a time for me to do it. So we are going to start with going into the kitchen and pulling everything out, and I've pretty much cleared this whole living room and simplified in here recently, so I have a lot of space to put stuff on, kind of make my brain not feel too overwhelmed. So I'm going to pull all my items out of the kitchen, and then I'm going to place them in different areas as how they are categorized, and then work through each category. I have a few questions to ask myself in the process, but let's dive in and get everything out first. This pot I've been using every morning to whip up and steam milk for a latte. This is the only one I would get rid of at the moment. For this reason, we have just ordered a milk frother to save this way because I do it all the time. This is one pot that I will be getting rid of. Okay, so I hope you're ready. This makes it crazy to think that we have all these things in our kitchen, and I have decluttered so many times, so we have a lot of odd things. I thought I'd put all the kitchen items specifically on this table, glassware, servingware, and everything we'd need. However, it's not enough space. Here we have more. On these two tables, we mainly have bakeware. Here I have appliances. Over there is sort of medicines and supplements. Over here is kind of like the junk drawer / tools, and I decided to put them here so I can deal with them at some point. So that was the first step done. There's pretty much no going back now, and now we are going to categorize these. Okay friends, I'm not gonna lie, at this point it does feel a little bit overwhelming, but we're gonna stick to plan. We're gonna start here and we're gonna work our way through. So I also had every intention to sort things into boxes, which I will do at some point, but I think it's just easier to go through item by item. A lot of items I know that we currently use, I'm gonna be putting straight back into the cupboard after I've had a chance to wipe it down. So it's a bit impractical with kitchen items and glassware to be throwing it into a plastic rubbish bag, but I would recommend a black bag if you are decluttering a space where you can do that. It helps to kind of stop you or any family members to kind of seeing what's in there and second guessing yourself. So generally I'd have at this point, which is what I'm going to do for the rest of my house, a black bag for things that are broken, for trash, a bin for things that are being kept, then a bin for things that are being kept but not used currently in this season, and then obviously put them back where they belong. So those are the overall kind of steps that I will have to begin with in every room that I'm going to do this with. Hopefully I can take along for all of them. But let's go through a couple of questions. So the first question will be, is it broken or damaged? It will go in the trash. Then is, have I got a duplicate or any other option that serves the same purpose? Then it will be donated. Do I use it at all? Then it will be kept. Do I use it in the current season? It will be kept out. Or store it away to simplify what you use currently for everyday use if it's not being used in this current season, but you genuinely do feel like you will have use for it in next season. Like, I don't use my crock pot that much during this current time, but I do use it a lot throughout winter. But the key, I guess, is to store it away to simplify your everyday, and if it doesn't get used, oh well, but you know, time will tell. So the main thing that I would ask myself now is, what do we use in a current week? Like, I know these cups I recently got from my dad. Like, someone always breaks a cup eventually and we'll end up with less and less, but we're gonna be careful with these, hopefully. But I know I use these, so these could technically go straight back in the cupboard, but I'm gonna use the cups for an example for these questions. At some point these were our favorite, but they are broken. The handles are broken off and they are quite sharp actually, so we don't reach for these, so they can go. Essentially they'd be trashed. I can't donate these. There's another one without a handle. Then we have cups like these. Would we use them? Yes. Do we use them currently? No. We could keep them, yes, but actually they are better to be donated. Then we have these cups, and these obviously belong to our two oldest boys. I think you already know what I'm gonna say. Do we use them? Yes. Do we use them in the current season? No, not for months. So they can be stored away, and they could technically be stored with our Christmas things because that's the season they're gonna be used in. So let's go through it all, and I think the first thing I'm gonna do is look for duplicates. And I kind of want to clear this space so I know that I've been through it all. So I'm going to be putting these things on the floor, which is kind of crazy. I'm going to do 3 piles on this mat here. So let's do it. So this here would be the first box for donations. It's a little bit broken. To keep things together, I'll put things that we're using on this side, things that are going on this side. 3 to go. Because then, once I've done this, everything that I need to be putting back in the cupboards are kind of easily accessed, so I can put everything back. Wait, we have 4 categories where things we are keeping but and things we're keeping but can go over here, so we can find a place for them. Actually, let's get another bin. I've got my trusty eventual basket. This is too small right now, I think, with the amount of items we have. But this is for things that we are keeping, but we don't need to have out. Okay friends, so that seemed really intimidating, but it took exactly 40 minutes. That's what the clip on the camera said. So it's not too bad. So technically we could do all of this probably in 45 minutes. But obviously I stop and I film and I move the camera around. Let's tackle the next stage, which is a little bit harder because there's less of the things that I use. But so far we got a good pile going, and let's keep at it. So I said this area would probably be a little bit harder to kind of go through where I am. I'm going to deal with the appliances first. So I already know that we have a couple of things here. I use the Instant Pot for yogurt making on a weekly basis. Mixer, it's not a great one, but it's all I have. Then I have a bread machine here, which I got from Hunter's Nan, and I got the instruction booklet a few weeks ago, so I've had it for a while before then, and I really want to use it. A little bit overwhelming, but I want to take the time to go through this. This will kind of be my autumn project, I think. So we're gonna have to see after that how it goes. The crock pot, I use that a lot, but not so much currently. I haven't used it for a couple of months now. I am due to make bone broth soon, but I can always pull that out when I get around to it. And then we have this coffee machine. I have been making my own coffee. I'm not using this. I think the capsules are too expensive anyway, but I have had at least 3 types of different capsule machines because I like them. It's just not sustainable. I don't know why I don't learn. This one was gifted to us though, so this can definitely be donated. It's working. The Ninja I can't use because we haven't got any of the cups left. Things disappear from this house. I'm not going to mention any names. We haven't got any cups, but often I do want to use it. I need to buy cups, so that's not for this current season. Microwave we do use. I do store it under the oven. I actually found that I don't use it enough to have it out on the counter in our tiny kitchen. To be donated, to be kept for the future, to be kept for the future, and to be kept for the future, near future hopefully. Now these are items that I can store in my cupboard that's in the corner. That's where I've been storing things that I don't use at all, but now I can store things that I use rarely. These are counter protectors or a pastry board. I don't need both, but I am going to keep the pastry board. I don't make pastry, but you never know. These can be donated. Some wooden pegs. I haven't had to use these because I have started using my tumble dryer more, but we are thinking of getting a dishwasher. I know, I've had one for like 6 months in my life in a previous rental. We were in that rental for about 6 months before I even opened a cupboard and realized we had a dishwasher, so I took advantage of it and it was great. But I've always washed up by hand, but with the season of my life, that's kind of like on my wish list. So it's something that we're currently thinking of getting, and when we do, we're probably going to have to take our tumble dryer out. So that's actually something that I've had to think a lot about. What is most useful to me and what will help kind of streamline things, and I think a dishwasher is definitely it. Moral of the story is that these wooden clothing pegs are probably going to come into use again. Okay, my friends, that is all the appliances dealt with, and we're really making headway here. That did not take too long. I say all my appliances. I have my electric whisk here. I do use that attachment for that blender, or for the mixer. I keep saying blender. And then there's these. So I got rid of a lot of kind of odd plastic containers. These Pyrex dishes, I picked up a lot of them at the charity shop. I had a few already. These I use for like casseroles and to cook with, but I actually more use them for food storage, and then you can heat it up in these as well. So these I use all the time, and I use all of them. And this dish is for making sourdough. When I make double batches, I use this large bowl, so it will be part of kind of my mixing bowls. And the lid. Now this is really interesting. This is like a vintage, is it that old? Spong's 630 marmalade and vegetable slicer. I thought it was a meat grinder. Okay. I've never used this, obviously, but I do like this. Of all the things, it's a bit different, but I've got to give myself something, so that's it. These were supposed to be for an Easter hunt for Easter. I got them from Asda, and we didn't end up using them, and I thought, that's fine, we'll use them next year. They were £1 each, and I ended up moving them in my kitchen around so many times to just kind of keep them for a year. And I'm going to let them go. So this is kind of excess inventory that I end up having to handle over and over again for virtually no reason. Are these duplicate? Yes, they are. I'm going to keep this one. I've actually never used this one, but I got it to replace this, and I never actually did that. So I need to be more conscious this year about what I'm bringing in, especially with the intention of replacing something else, to actually go ahead and do this, because this has been like 5 months and I've still ended up using this larger rolling pin, and I find that I wanted something like this instead, so that can be donated. This too. Okay, my friends, so we are kind of finished with the main things that go in the kitchen in terms of what we use day to day. The only thing that left is paper clutter, what I deem tools or junk drawer. The last thing is the medicines. So I think I can do the medicines and the paper clutter now, but the tools and the junk drawer I might have to save till tomorrow, because before I do that, I'm going to put everything else away, as I don't know when the kids are going to come, and then if we still have some time left, we can do the junk drawer together. But first, let's grab a cloth. We're just going to wipe the cupboards. However, there are a few items on the counters that are either things that I decided as I were clearing them out, they need to go. I just put them on the counter so I can just come in with a black bin bag and trash it all, or go in recycling. Extra packs of sugar. Some people like hoover these drawers out first. That'd probably be a bit more useful. I've had like 2 sips on my tea now this time. It's cold now, but it's okay. So now it is time to start putting everything back. Everything's clean, wiped down. You know, it didn't take long. I wasn't too meticulous, but everything came off really easily. So it's time to put it all back and then see how I feel. If there's any chance something I feel like letting go at the time, of course I'm gonna do that, but let's do it. Like guys, I am not about to do any specific organizing. I'm not about to pull any new fancy dividers out or anything, but it's still an opportunity to rethink how you store things. Like our junk cupboard, are there certain things that perhaps just shouldn't go back in there? Is our cups in a place that makes the most sense? So I think this is a good time to do that and just have a little think about where things need to go. Like I said, the bottom cupboard in the corner, I can immediately put things in that are not currently for this season. So I think I'm going to start there. Okay friends, I'm so excited because we've cleared everything away we had. You guys have too. Okay, I've cleared everything away behind me and put it back in the kitchen, and I'm super excited to show you. I've got 20 minutes on the clock apparently till the boys are here. So I thought we could deal with the medicine and the paper clutter, put that away, and then Hunter hasn't napped. So when he goes down for a nap, I can probably deal with the junk drawers. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm getting all this done. I feel so blessed. So let's sit down and deal with the paper clutter and the medicines first. So right off the bat, I can see a few things that Hunter's made at nursery. We've got passports in here that we just obviously throw in the cupboard. Some Hello Fresh menus from a long time ago that I decided to keep because I really like them. And then some random things that I might need to action. So what I'm going to do a junk pile. I'm going to do important things and things that need to be actioned or put away in the important places and see where we get to. So I've decided to throw all of the Hello Fresh menus. I think, probably not now that I'm looking at them. The thing is I can always look it up online, which is really good. And I haven't been using them, so you know what, let's get rid of them. So that is the paper clutter to go. Then it's things to store away for Hunter and some important paperwork, which is not that bad of a pile. So I'm going to put that over here for now. With some work things, and then let's tackle the medicines. So a lot of this is literally expired things. So I'm going to utilize this. This is actually a toy. It came in Hunter's toy kit, but I'm going to utilize to store things in. Then the rest, I'm just going to ask him if you want some of these teas, and the rest I think can go. Okay friends, I think they're going to be 5 minutes or they're here. Maybe someone else, but let's do this. This is the type of stuff where a basket and a black trash bag will do well. Two more pennies. Oops, another battery for a camera I don't have anymore. That's rubbish. This is my eventual basket, things to be put away. Pennies, because we're going to find more in that cupboard. Important stuff. Keys, scissors, another drill bit, washer. Okay, so I'm going to keep the eventual basket for when we empty the rest, the last cupboard. And then we have the pile now that we're probably going to need, I think. We're going to need a toolbox as well. So let's go fill this back up. Okay friends, so I thought we'd move it to the floor for this, and I knew previous toy boxes would come in use. To be honest, I feel like just put it all in a trash bag and I wouldn't really miss it. But you know what? We are going to do this right and we are going to go through it. So one of these boxes is going to be for batteries, because I know we have batteries. I've got keys here because I've seen more keys. I mean, we really do not have this many locks. All of these batteries are batteries batteries that I probably need to get rid of. I'm not about to test them all. Yeah, so this is going to be batteries that kind of need to go. These pictures, they belong to Hunter's Nan. Sure, there's a third one. I'm so confused. I thought there were 3. These could possibly be donated if that's okay with him. I suppose it is. Nobody's wanted to have them up, or we'll find a spot for them. They do work well with our decor, I guess. But then we have a few knives. Sheffield made stainless steel knife. They're kind of more like little crab knives, not crab, crayfish knives. Like the batteries, they need to be disposed of specifically like my other knives. So I'm going to put them with the batteries and then just keep going. So let's do that. So friends, my camera cut out and I did film quite a bit and I sorted it all out, but it's fine. I'm going to show you where we are at now, and then we're all done, by the way. So I'm going to show you the final reveal and what did the kitchen look like, and I'm so excited and I'm quite proud actually. Thank you for being with me this far, and let's have a little walk around. So all I have here are these 2 that can be donated. So I'm going to put those where the donation things are now, and I'll show you those. These need to be put away. It's quite easy. It's just the baby stuff, some games, hair play, hairbrush, etc. And then these are obviously just the card stuff. I have to see what the kids want to do. Could get rid of them because they haven't known they've existed for a while, but I'm gonna let them make that choice. It's a little bit dark in here, I apologize, but up here I decided to put everything that needs to be donated so it can just go. And we got quite the amount of stuff. So what's behind door number 1? A bunch of rubbish. I'm gonna have to take all of this out, but that's recycling in the bins, the trash bags, and then the general trash. It all needs to go outside now before dinner. But now, my friends, it's time for the final reveal. We are in the kitchen, and I will do the before pictures as well. So let's do door number 1. This was our junk drawer with a bit of everything. It still has a lot in there, but it's more organized. I know where everything is. It's got 3 bins. So this is the after. We have our toolbox. Our tools essentially shouldn't need to be in the kitchen, but they are for now. Extra little bits and bobs like that, tape, glue, and that could be sorted down further and pared down. The red box has got our manuals and light bulbs, and the green box is kind of all our house supplies. All in all, this top cabinet has now gone from being a complete junk drawer to being a kind of house maintenance drawer, which I'm not too mad about. And now it's time for the second one, which was kind of our catch-all cabinet. I'm not gonna lie, it's still the cabinet that has the most things in. Excuse the sparkling water and the courgettes, but I do live here. So cabinet number 2. So I said that this has the most things in. Let's have a look. I decided to store most of my main jars that I use constantly up at the top, next to some dessert bowls. And I decided to also put the vintage shot glasses next, and some thermos tops. I know the thermoses are being used, they're just not here right now. I did keep the plastic measuring jugs because I use them for water when I take it out to the chickens. Then we have 1 vase that we kept. We arranged from our adult cups, some odd wine glasses, kids cups, and then of course we do have our plates. These are all the plates that we have really. This has been a mismatch and kind of what we worked our way through over time through decluttering. We might all need replacing. We have a cracked bowl, but it works for now, and then we have sort of kids bowls. By any other standard, this might not be the most aesthetic cupboard, but I really love it. I think it looks great. I think we just need to pare it down. All the things that are in there, I'm not adverse to actually getting rid of and replacing it with better things, but I feel like the amount of things that are in there now works for us, and we're a family of 5. It might seem weird that we have like 4 main plates, but obviously our youngest just still eat from the wooden one, 4 bowls, but they eat from this bowl. My eldest son, who's 10, still uses this bottom green IKEA one from when he was like 2 years old. He just won't let that go. There you have it. Now, this cupboard behind me is the cupboard where we previously had our bowls and serveware, etc. that we use on a daily basis, and I'm going to show you it now. So without further ado, let's open it back up. Okay, so I told you the last one had the most things, but let's keep going. So all we have in this cupboard currently is basically our medicine things, and then a bunch of cheap chocolates that I used to make chocolate mousse. Currently a fair bit. This could also become pantry space for the things that need to be used up quickly. But to be honest, they are just ideas, and I found through decluttering that sometimes we do have to live with the changes for a little bit to find out what works, but I am pretty happy with this. And let's move on to the last top cupboard behind you. So this is the cupboard. I'm gonna have to be here, otherwise I go in the sunshine. That is usually our catch-all for our cups and everything we use kind of day to day. Right now it is completely empty. Maybe I'll stay that way for a while, but for now it feels like we've accomplished something, like an empty cupboard, an almost empty cupboard, you know. We're getting there. Moving down to the very first bottom cupboard, this is where I tend to keep the microwave, I still do, and things that go in the cooker. It's a lot more streamlined. I do have 2 pans in the oven. I decided that once I've washed them, I've just used them, I'm going to put them down here. And that's all that's in here, essentially. Things to cook in the oven with for dinner. Just normal baking sheets, and then obviously like some bags, parchment paper, foil, aluminium foil, and the microwave. And with that cupboard, it's just nice because even though it weren't like chaotic, it was still chaotic enough, and I did go in there a lot to get things out for cooking. Things always fell out. Some of it has gone in here, some of it got donated, but this is the baking cupboard now. So this is where I previously kept my Instant Pot and my crock pot, and then just random things. So now I can see everything a lot better. I've got my mixer, I've got my rolling pin, things I use for baking, and then all my mixing bowls pretty much are in here apart from a large one. Measuring cup, I've got my Instant Pot, and I decided to store the usual pans that I use for baking that I had under the oven before that I don't use as often down here too. My electric whisk. So this is really nice. I have a little proper baking cupboard, and this is what this was supposed to be before, and then I ended up having quite a few things in the drawers and it got spread out. So I really do enjoy this cupboard. And then of course we are at my corner cupboard. This is fairly deep that way, and this was my seasonal, not using as often, things to store away, etc. And this cupboard essentially won't really be open much in this season, that's the point, but I still have my things here. In here I did end up putting my Ninja, a few more things that are completely seasonal that we don't use currently, including the French press at the very back. I don't expect to get those out anytime soon. I did put the braid maker, even though it's larger, in front of him because I do want to keep that fairly visible. Like I said, it's something that I'm wanting to try, and I think this autumn that might be my project. It is there, it can remind me. Then some serving platters and some extra casserole dishes that I again use more in the autumn, winter, but not currently, but they are still very, very accessible. Same with these baskets that I use for a lot of things that we got there, the clothing pegs behind them, and then the crock pot down here. And again, it's still so easy to access these. Before, I felt like I couldn't access anything in here and things were just thrown in. I can see everything visually clearly. It's a good space again. And last but not least, I need to organize the pots and pans in here again, but that's just a quick reshuffle. I'm just gonna get rid of the one I use for making my coffees as soon as our milk frother arrives. And then that's all I'm gonna declutter from there for now. Maybe in the future I'll do it again. But then we have 3 drawers. It all needs wiping. Like doing this, I realize how dirty they are and how quickly they need redoing again. So let's check out the drawers. So in this face is a cutlery drawer. I did move it around. I already know that we decluttered a couple of things. However, it's okay. Now basically we have anything here. I've still got the same utensils, but they are the ones I use up there. This is very manageable in terms of inventory. And again, we are a fairly large family, not a giant family, but a fairly large one. And this feels good during this season of life. This next one was my baking kind of drawers before in both of them, and I moved a fair bit over to the other side. That works a lot better. Let's have a look here. This is storage basically. I use these, like I said, for food storage predominantly. I do use them to cook with. If we ever bring food to other people's houses, I put them in the Pyrex dishes. I got a couple of plastic ones if Hunter's dad takes food to work because he's I wasn't gonna name names, but he may be the one that like takes a lot of their things and we end up with odd things. So I got him these specifically like very recently from B&M. It was like 6 for £3, I think a week ago. We now have 2, but I think he's got some more to bring in. That's why we need a dishwasher. I don't know if they're dishwasher friendly. Suitable for microwave ovens. I don't know about that, but we got some jars, and I did show you some up there, but these are just extra for fermenting. And the ones that I have up there, especially wider ones, I use more for milk kefir and my sourdough starter. Then I have my lids here, easy to access. These are cotton covers in different sizes, another muslin cloth, and my Instant Pot rack. And then last but not least, my friends, is the bottom cupboard. And what did we have in here? The big casserole dishes. But now I've made this into my extra baking, and I do need a place for my towels. They're easy to grab from here. My hand towels, my baking towels, my cloth. This is mainly fermenting things. So I've got my scale, I've got my fermentation kit, that's it. And then I have my big bowl that I do for sourdough, my Bannerton baskets, and my little flour adjuster, a smaller measuring jug for easy access, and that is it. Okay, my friends, I want to thank you so much for being here with me, for decluttering and sticking through the videos. If you made it this far, please leave it this emoji in the comments below and let me know what you found useful in this video, what decluttering projects you're tackling next, or if you have any extra ideas that perhaps you could share to do with decluttering your kitchen, and I'm sure it will help some. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Until then, have an amazing, blessed and wonderful week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.